to sell to the consumer, and it's going to be less, to me, this is purely in my opinion, everybody, and it's going to be less about the earnings. Like, yeah, maybe you beat on top and bottom lines and everything's nice, but it's going to be more about the future, right? Projections, how the conference call is, what are they going to do, what are they preparing for, how are they handling it, maybe confidence. I mean, we talk about these markets all the time. Markets are forward looking. It doesn't matter what happened today or yesterday, the day before. Everyone's always looking, in the future. We're trading futures,
Yep.
so it's kind of fitting.
Right. Yeah. Literally.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this market reacts, how those conference calls are, and trade it. I mean, at the end of the day, we are day traders. We trade what's in front of us. And regardless of what they say and how the market reacts, we just trade it. We're not going to be holding positions for longer than 24 hours. And will it have an effect on how I trade tomorrow? Maybe not. Is it going to have effect on how I trade in Monday? No. Hopefully we have just some volatility, some consistent markets, and hopefully we
Trade the
just go up.
response. It's okay to buy. Gabe, how are you looking at these markets? I know you're busy all the time. You get to look at the markets. I don't know how often you get to trade. You're running production and things like that. But you get to run the show today, Gabe. What are we looking at? Looking at placing any trades? How's your trading been going?
Yeah. So I'm up a little bit on a combine that I started just
Nice.
for the segment. Took 2 trades, 481 on the combine so far. But I was looking at the S&Ps. I'm really trying to.
Okay.
I find it so difficult to get away from the Nasdaq, but I'm really trying to exercise the
Not another
ability
one.
to
Order
switch
filled.
products. I know, man. It's just
Not another
I
one.
don't know. Another one has
Fuck
gone
that, man.
to what people will call the dark side, but I think it's actually the light
Nasdaq's
side.
just pushing everyone away. Like,
It is.
I know.
It is.
it's only a market. You really need to know Nasdaq to love it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
with you. And that's what I've been
Filled.
trading the last like 2 years is mainly just Nasdaq, but it's the one that's caused me the most pain as well. So the majority of my lessons have came from the Nasdaq.
Have you found that technically what you're looking at in the technically what you were looking at in the Nasdaq still applies to the S&P?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so. Really, it's a chart is a chart in my opinion. I think that it's good
Right.
to some people take the approach of just focusing on one specific product and learning the behavior of that product, right? So my focus for a while has been the Nasdaq, but in general, when I started learning to read a chart, it was mainly price action. Like Dakota would tell you, his strategy is based on just technical support and resistance, looking for trend structure or the cyclical nature of the market, right? Impulses, corrections, understanding the sequence of highs and lows, and just generally reading a price chart for the simplest form, right, without adding a lot of additional layers of confluence or indicators. So that's how I've kind of stuck with trading is looking for general price action. I was more of a supply and demand trader. So a lot of that
Okay.
translates to any product that you're really trading. You're just looking for an area of consolidation typically before a nice imbalance in price. So a nice surge higher or drop lower.
Yep.
And then you're looking for a retest to that area of consolidation. So that's actually what I was looking at in this prior segment was a little bit of a quick pause or base in price and a nice little expansion higher explosion. A couple candles in a row trading in the same direction.
Order
as a push up
filled.
to a new high. So that would tell me that there's a pretty significant amount of buyers here that would take out the sellers that were interested in that level previously. Came back, retested it. I waited for a little bit more of a confirmation. So I waited for it to actually kind of base or consolidate again. And then on the next candle closure, I took it north just for a quick little 1-to-1 essentially, be able to just take that out,
Nice.
that high out. So it's about 5 points on the ES. And then we kind of consolidated again, failed to really break down lower. And so I was looking a little bit more bullish to revisit, that area of supply, which was a previous area that, sellers had come into the market around 56.67 to 56.70. So all in all, now we're ranging.
Stuff, Gabe.
We're at the bottom end of the extreme ends of the range. So I'm wondering if this, 56.50 will hold, or whether or not we're going to break down to maybe take out those 56.40s.
Let's go. Let's sell off.
Looks
I'm
like we're
short
breaking.
21, man. Let's just
We
keep
got
selling.
a Dakota. Let's go. Dakota, while we're here and you're short, let's get an over under. What are we looking at? Above, below?
Man, I like this.
What's the price?
I mean, Andre doesn't have to worry when he's gone. Worry about someone running the show, man. Over under. I don't know, Jay. Let's look at this. I am in a position, so I have a bias. Obviously, we do
Right.
have a nice trend line right here that we are making higher lows, and we're bouncing off of it. So that's interesting. We have big earnings coming out at
Order filled.
at the close. We're right around that big, nice psychological number, 20,000. So, I'm going to go with 20,000 quarter.
20,000 and a quarter. 20,000 quarter. Okay. Above, below, 20,000 quarter. I think Robert might be doing the polls. Chat, you're going to vote in the poll. Is the NASDAQ going to end above or below 20,000 and a quarter? I think that's a pretty safe number with this major 20,000. Obviously, we've been consolidating around it for a while. I actually
Order filled.
hate along here in the NASDAQ with that idea. We've kind of just been consolidating. Gabe, I know you had that level in the S&P that you were looking at, that demand level you had looking at, but I'm driving. I'm not trading. Dakota, you have a downside target for this short.
Yeah, I like 930s. I like 930s. If we could break through this support trend line, whatever you call it, this support line, these higher lows, I can see us testing these 930s. Extreme would be like 880s. I don't know if it will get to that, but we've seen crazier things happen. I mean, take a look at Power Hour the last few days. Just ripped up a few hundred points, and we're kind of just, I don't know. We'll see. I'm in this trade. We have a long ways to go, man.
Order filled.
Long way to go for sure. Still got about 45 minutes left in the session. Quick look at the markets. Gold trading 32.34.
Order filled.
S&P's 56.51.
Order filled.
Nasdaq 19,985, and crude oil after that spike kind of settled down a little bit. The market is closed, trading 59.19. 50-50 on the tilt for the most part. Maybe slight bias to the short side in the equities.
Order filled.
60% short in the Nasdaq. Average price 19,982. So they're a little underwater right now, but it's not over until you close the trade, as long as your risk is managed.
Yeah. So it's just us then. The team's AFK. They're out for the.
Yeah, they're all getting their headshots taken, pictures for the whole team out of Chicago. And Robert and I are the only ones that are not in Chicago. So I got tasked with the production box and all that side, and then Robert's hanging out in the chat helping us out. Even though technically it's supposed to be a day of coaching, he's helping us out.
So we have control. What should we do?
We have full control.
What should we do?
Can we do? Did they leave you the keys to the house account?
Yeah.
I do not have the keys to the house account, unfortunately. That's the one thing that we do not have. So it's not like we can throw on like a 50 lot banger. But
that's exactly what we were gonna do.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning towards.
I was thinking the same thing, but I don't think Andre would give me those keys.
Man.
Coach Robert's in the chat. He says he does have the keys.
He does have the keys. Robert, hey dude, if you want to come chill, jump in the green room real quick. Jump in the green room.
Okay, hop on in. We got somebody with the key to the house.
All right, let's get this.
We could also power end music. Stream. We could cut the stream and make sure it's not recorded. What we're about to do.
Hey, the record button's right in front of me. I've got it right in front of me. I can just kill that real quick.
Make it a private. Make it a private link.
Yeah,
make it a private link. Yeah, we could just delete this stream before it gets out.
Right. I mean that bounce in the Nasdaq was pretty nice there, right? This 20,000 level. It kind of reminds me of Power Hour from yesterday, where we consolidated for a little while, and then in the last half an hour, last maybe 15 minutes or so, we saw a spike. I don't know that we get that today with us kind of chopping around this 20,000 level here, but of course, anything can and will happen.
Cut the stream, and then they start seeing a 50 lot come in at the ask.
That's the top step trade right there.
All right, I think Robert's going to actually jump in the green room.
Order filled.
Nice. Good stuff. Good
So we will
stuff.
have a house
We
account,
got.
but Jay, go ahead. Sorry, you're driving.
No, I was looking for the poll. Go ahead, Gabe. I don't see the poll results, but we're good.
I can grab them real quick.
Oh, it's
Okay,
right there in
so
front of me.
327 votes, 56% say above 20,000, and 43% say below. 1% didn't vote.
If we make that link private, we could start charging traders $50 to get the link.
I'm about to just put chat on paid only. So only opportunity you have to actually put a message in the chat is if you send us a little quick donation, buy me some lunch.
We would appreciate it. At least give us a like. I don't know where we're at on the likes, but if you like what's going on, giving props to Gabe for running the show all day, kind of a one-man show. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. Like, subscribe, tell your friends and family. Hit the bell to get notifications as well when we go live. We got shows pretty much all the time on TopStep. Daytime shows starting at 7:20 Central. Coach Paul and I with At the Buzzer to kind of wrap up the markets. Dakota with slow markets. Dakota, you got a guest coming on slow markets today?
Yeah, Jay. And, you're not the guest, man. It's going to be.
Hey.
It's going to be barren. I mean, you're tired of those longer streams. We stayed up an extra hour for everybody watching
Extra
those
hour
big
for
orders.
sure.
Yeah, we big orders filling in the Nasdaq. But Baron, you seen him earlier this morning. He's going to be joining me tonight for slow market. It's going to be fun. He's went to the dark side too with you, Gabe. Went over there, leaving the Nasdaq for the
He's trying, but last night he ended up trading Nasdaq anyway. So
I know
you might be able to tempt him.
It's fine during the day, but when it comes to slow markets, it gets a little tempting, and you might end up caving into the Nasdaq.
Yep.
I think it's the dopamine of trading the Nasdaq. Things happen really quick. It is hard to get away from. I try to trade the S&P as well, but every once in a while,
Order
looking at the
filled.
Nasdaq, like, you know what, that would be an easy.
Yeah.
It actually bit me today. I was longing the low of the opening range, and just here's the opening range. I have it mapped out here, right? I took a long in the Nasdaq, and it ran the opening range by 40 points. Let's look at the same range in the S&P.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Just nice and respectful. Holds the low of that range and would be a winning trade. So there's a reason for it.
I mean,
and
honestly, Jay, sometimes I'm just sitting there at night and I get a text from the Nasdaq saying, "You wake?" and I try and ignore it, and then another one comes
Order
through.
filled.
Hey,
Order filled.
We just broke the highs.
Getting big head text from the Nasdaq is crazy.
That's wild, dude.
That is hilarious, Dakota.
I
think we got a guest.
Order filled.
I think we got a guest in the green room. You don't need to ring the doorbell. You could just break right through the wall.
Break the door down. Yeah, I'm
break the door down.
I'm just getting him sized up right now. I'll actually bring him.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Market's still kind of just chopping around here, ranging. Again, we're not expecting too much out of this price action. I think it's cool that we're just sitting here having conversation similar to what we did and during slow markets yesterday, Dakota. We did have a trade on, but there really wasn't much going on. I think this type of price action gets traders caught up where I'm trying to make sense of every move here, and there really isn't much to do. And you kind of take a bunch of paper cuts before the eventual move, and then you're not ready for it. So we're kind of just sitting here joking around a little bit. Nasdaq long tilt 62%. The longs under 20,000 would have been a nice trade, but is it really worth the opportunity for you to go ahead and take that? Is the question. Dakota, you still in that short?
Yeah, we're hovering around break even. Hovering around break even.
Nice.
Order filled.
Still in the short here. I don't hate shorts. If we push up into 20,050, I think I'll join you there. I'll get in the S&P, but if the Nasdaq pushes up to 20,050 and can't trade above it, I'll join you on the short back to that 20,000 level. Back to that 20,000 level.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's get our friend over here with the key to the house account.
Yeah, I'm about to bring him now. By the way, James says in the background, James says, "You guys are good. I won't tell." So apparently, anything that we do is going to be kept between us.
We're good.
Nice.
Right?
Good.
Not like we're doing this on the internet or anything.
No, not at all. Just a couple people hanging with us. Right? No, nobody in chat.
Order filled.
Yeah.
You'll never find us.
Oh, there he is. All right, I'll bring him in.
There he is.
What's up, Robert?
Coach
never find
Robert, how
us.
we doing?
I'm doing all right. This is a good show today. Okay,
Order filled.
Special thing on the background.
Order
You don't have to change
filled.
anything, but I put the black hole up there because this is what's happening in these days in these markets. 'Cause everything's getting sucked in. Whether you go up, down, around, there was just no light at the end of that tunnel. So
Absolutely. Dakota, your shorts looking pretty good here. Coach Robert, I know you said markets are kind of looking like a black hole right now. I know for you trade on usually a shorter time frame. You're looking at tick charts, and sometimes for
Order
10,
rejected.
20-point trades here. Do you see an opportunity to maybe take something based on how you normally look at the markets?
what? Look at that. Gabe's got the charts up right there. I honestly have not been looking at a lot in the markets at all. It's a skeleton crew here, and thanks for you guys for helping out as well, and Gabe doing a hell of a job back there. So I haven't really done a lot, but we can
Order
look
filled.
at this, and I could do a little bit of analysis. I could go pull up my calculator and stuff, but I'll be happy to do that. But we do have the keys to the house account sitting right here. So if we see something and we agree on it, I don't see any reason why we can't take it. 100 lots, what the hell?
Why not? Right. Just a quick look at the Mag 7. We got Meta up 5.4%, Nvidia up 3.75%, Apple pretty much flat right now, Amazon up 3.85%. So Mag 7 all green right now. Tesla just over 0.5% up. Google up 1.5%. So Mag 7 all green. Of course, that can and will maybe will change after the earnings reports that we see from Amazon and Apple. But Mag 7 all green right now as the Nasdaq is up on the day. How much are we up percentage wise?
1 3/4.
1.75% up in the Nasdaq today. Most of that happening with the gap up overnight. Really, since then we've kind of just been consolidating. Dakota, we saw all those big orders getting filled last night, and then really no direction today. You think they're preparing for NFP?
I think it was a little bit about like the Japan's rate decision last night, and then earnings, and who knows, man? I can think of 4 or 5.
Who knows at this point? Who knows at this point?
All we know is it happened. They got filled, and here we are.
Here we are. Coach Robert, I know you look at a couple of different markets. Sometimes you're Nasdaq, sometimes you're looking at the Russell, the Dow, gold. Everyone's been kind of moving away from the Nasdaq. I think you started that last year with moving away from the Dow. Have you been looking at it recently? What have you been telling your VIPs about trading the crazy Nasdaq?
Yeah, the Nasdaq, right? That was the biggest thing, and we made a deal with the VIPs this whole week. I shouldn't say made a deal, but what I did was I suggested it, but also held true to my own form and did not trade the Nasdaq for the entire month of April, not the NQ nor the MNQ, and just focus on the other markets, mainly YM. I should say MYM, because when I'm doing it through the VIP, we're trading the micros, and you'd be surprised. We lost a bunch of traders at the beginning, first couple of weeks, and then over the last month when everything started coming, all right, finally caved in. I'm going to give in. I'm going to trade micros. And every week for the last nearly month, we've had 2 or 3 traders passing into XFAs. So it's proof is in the pudding right there, right? Yeah. So MYM, I'm going to put it up here. I just simply don't trade gold. I'm horrible at it, but it would be MES, MYM is on the bottom, MCL, and then the RTY, which is a Russell, but the micro version is called M2K. So those are the ones that we have been focusing on. And everybody does things a little bit different, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So it is now. It's May 1st. So technically, I could trade NQ, and if we talk about it, that's fine. But I don't like it anymore. It used to be a way. But what I would always say is if somebody's trading NQ, and it just seems to be a bit too much these days, YM would be the next one I would suggest. Now, ES is pretty close. as well. But ES is 500 stocks. It's a thicker market. It does trade a little different, a little slower movement. And there, it's $25. $50 a point there. With the NQ, there's 30 stock. NQ is 100 stocks, and the YM is 30 stocks. So,
30,
and they do
right.
flow very, very similarly. So that's my biggest suggestion. If anybody's like, man, I love trading NQ, but it's a little bit much for me right now, I just say, well, do exactly what you're doing, except trade on YM. If you have a 20-point target, just do the same thing on YM and make your adjustments that way. So, and it seems to be working out because it's very, very, they've moved similarly, just with the nature of the stocks in it. Whereas if you try to jump to ES, it is a little bit different.
Good stuff. Speaking of the nature of the stocks, we do have earnings reports coming in after the close. Looking at Apple, earnings per share estimate $1.62, revenue estimate $94.54 billion. And for Amazon, our earnings per share estimate is $1.37. Revenue estimates are $155.15 billion for Q1. Go ahead.
We got to make sure Nick Dobie doesn't say anything to the rest of the team if we do what we're going to do.
I don't
Dolby's
think
here?
I think this is least of our concern.
Okay.
Dolby, agent of chaos, Dolby, who is pushing 50 lots all last year, he's not going to say anything.
No.
Okay. You got to make sure. You got to tie up all of our loose ends.
He's not going to say
Oh,
anything.
Adobe just showed up. The market's going to range now.
I mean, we've been ranging for a little while now. Really not a ton of price action. I think the market is just waiting for all of the news. 2 major earnings reports and non-farm payroll tomorrow. There's going to be a ton of opportunity. So again, markets are open, but it does not mean we have to place a trade, or if we do, lower the expectations, right? Dakota, you're in that short. You're not looking for a 500-point trade right here.
No, I'm looking for a test of these 940s.
Yep. You'll take it if it gives it to you, but
yeah, of course,
can't beat the expectation right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jay, while we're waiting and there's some quiet, do you want to knock out these top quiz winners real quick? Just
let's do it. Let's do it, Gabe.
Sweet, sounds good. Well, if you caught top quiz this afternoon, it was quite entertaining, to be honest with you. But we have the winners for the session, so here they are. If you see your name, remember, you win an extra entry into the VIP drawing of the next season, which will be coming up in the very near future. We obviously have a few more check-in forms to get through before we do any sort of draft, but just know that you'll receive plenty more information and updates from us as we get closer to the deadline for when that draft will come. I'm sure the coaches are very excited to start a fresh season, get some new faces in there, and kind of start fresh. But congrats to those that won. So once again, if you see your name, you just receive an extra entry to the VIP drawing. And we will continue to do top quiz 3 times a week. So in addition to all the VIP forms that you'll see being dropped over the coming weeks, the top quiz is another way for you to continue to build towards getting into the next season. So hang tight, keep playing, and that's it. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabe. I saw a name on that list that said hire me TopStep. So I'm going to post a link in the chat to the open roles page on TopStep.com. See if you might fit. It looks like right now TopStep is hiring in finance, fraud, risk, and marketing. So if you think that you fit any of those roles and you want to join the team at TopStep, fill it out there on the website.
Just remember, you got to be in the U.S.
Got to be in the U.S.
Got to be in the U.S.
All right. These markets are trying to put us to sleep, and that's exactly what happens right before they make a big move. So keep your eyes open, waiting for opportunities.
Order filled.
And it'll happen from there.
Order filled.
Dakota, what happened with our Lakers last night, man? What happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
I do.
We got to talk about something. We got a half an hour left.
Well, we can.
I don't know what happened to this freaking Lakers. I was telling Gabe in the green room last night was just who sucked less.
Yeah, it really was. Really was. I know, Coach Robert, you're probably happy over there. The Massachusetts guy looks better for the Celtics and their opportunities to win it. But yeah, that was rough. Hopefully, that's not the last game we see LeBron play in the playoffs. But they need to make some changes.
LeBron doesn't play for
Need
the
to make some-
Celtics.
I plays
He
for the
might.
Lakers.
He
I
might
know
next, he
you know
might next
that.
year. You never know. He might next year.
Right. We had a
I
good
don't
run
think
up
he's
there
going.
for a
Yeah.
while, right? Back in the
Order
day. And I, you know,
filled.
there was one time from like one year to the next, I'm going to screw the years up, but like 04, 05, right in that area where, you know, the Red Sox won the World Series, Patriots won the Super Bowl, Celtics won the championship, and the Bruins made it to the Stanley Cup, but lost it, didn't win the Stanley Cup. And it was all within the same year. So we were like, this is really, really cool. You know, the memes that went around next year, they were like, hey, could somebody please win? You know, we're getting hangovers here. We haven't won a championship in 2 months. It was so funny. But everybody has their course, right? It does, you know, the Bulls are great at one time, Lakers are great at one time, and it just kind of goes around the circle. And if you happen to be fortunate enough to be in that area, that's your team, soak it up while you can, because, you know, nobody's great forever. And it shows.
I mean, LeBron's pushing it though. He's trying.
Yeah.
He's
Trying.
trying.
I know
Speaking
someone
of
else
trying, go ahead, Dakota.
at age 40, someone
Order
was
filled.
ending his career during the regular season with the Wizards.
Yeah.
A quick shout
What
out
they
to my
call him, the
Wolves
GOAT.
fans in the chat, though. I gotta say, Holder Runner. Shout out to my T Wolves. Who else we got? Chichimus. Got a couple Minnesota fans in the chat, so gotta shout them out. See who we how far we can go. Usually we're tossed out after the first round, so we'll see how far we can go past the second.
Speaking of trying, we do have the Russell that, you know, while the Nasdaq and the S&Ps are consolidating, has been rallying since Power Hour started. And I think we see this a lot of times, right, where, you know, there are 4 major equity markets, and sometimes when the Nasdaq and the S&P are consolidated, the Dow and the Russell will be trending. So pretty nice move here in the Russell. I don't know how many traders we have at TopStep that trade it, but it's one of the major equity markets, 2,000 stocks in the Russell, but it can trend pretty well when the others are chopping around. So shout out to Leah in the chat for bringing that up. Gabe, are we doing hashtag Power Hour today?
We will, but while we're at it, I may have been
Did it?
creating something in the background.
I thought we agreed
know.
on this. Gabe.
We said no.
agreed
did,
none
but
of this.
To be honest with you, we've been struggling to find shit to talk about. So let me just throw something at us here. And
Thank you, Gabe.
We have,
yeah,
are we true false here, Gabe? I'm putting the poll up now. We got 4.
Yeah.
What do we got?
yeah, we're doing true false today.
True false.
I'm running out of
Alright.
multiple choice questions, so I'm running through all the true false ones.
I'll have to get you some more. I get a whole book of them.
That would be awesome. All right. Well, here's your question of the day. If the daily price limit, Dakota, if the daily price limit is increased for a given commodity due to extreme volatility, the CBOT and the CME will automatically increase the minimum margin required to hold those contracts. True or false? I see you pulling up Google there, Dakota.
Yeah, I'm going to say false as well.
I already gave that answer.
Dude, you barely had time to read the question.
You don't need time, man. I got a series.
I guess
3.
it's a 50-50 shot, right? You just rattle off one answer. It's either right or wrong.
Hey,
All right, we'll give people
Andy's-
a couple seconds. 65% in the chat so far say true.
Order filled.
It could be really strange. I mean, I'm horrible at these things here because in theory, it's right. And I'm making a broad guess on this as well. No cheating. If it is increased because of the extreme volatility, I think the key word here is, will it automatically increase the minimum margin? See, I don't know if it's automatic or not, or if somebody has to make a decision on it. So that could be the point. So if it's done automatically, I would say true. But if it has to be done, manually have a decision, then it would be false, right? This is why I haven't passed it yet.
I was thinking, so I don't know if that's a good point, Robert. I'm looking at the minimum margin. I don't know if it's minimum or maintenance. It's one of the two. I can't remember which.
There's a couple words in here that trigger some questions. D asks CBOT question mark. That would be the Chicago Board of Trade.
CBOT, yeah.
Currently, I believe
I said false.
doesn't even have an open pit at the moment.
because you have CME, CBOT, NYMEX, COMEX, right? You have all those the four main
Order
exchanges
filled.
where you're trading commodities or you're trading, cattle and hog. You're trading equities or whatever. So we need to have 4 of those options available as far as the exchanges go. But this one is specifically says CBOT and CME.
What's our answer, Gabe?
Yeah, Rainmaker says, overthink much? Yes, we are overthinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go ahead and throw the answer. It is false. So the exchanges, they set the required minimums, right? But brokers kind of have their discretion, or FCMs have the discretion to increase those beyond what the exchanges are requiring. If they want to, let's say, for instance, protect their customers in more volatile environments, that would make sense to me. But yeah, Rainmaker, we were definitely overthinking it. Series 3 questions kind of make you do that.
Laughing
they
at my
definitely
answer.
do.
Yeah,
it was weird, guys and gals and traders, for the experience for the Series 3, and I have not passed it yet. I took it twice, and straight up, I took it once, and there's a bunch of categories. I did the best in the actual trading part, but the rest of them, options, the legal side and stuff, I didn't do good at. And I took it again, and I did worse in every single category except better in the actual trading part.
Order filled.
Which makes total sense, right? So what's really interesting about this, and I'm just filling some philo stuff in here, guys. So what makes it interesting is I'm going to give you an example. It gives you this question, right, or this scenario, and then it said, which of the following are false? And I look at A, B, C, and D. So A is clearly false. B, I'm like, that's false too. And then C, I'm like, hold on, that's false as well. And D says all the above. Okay, so now hear me out. Here's your overthinking. Which one of these is false? Well, A, B, and C are all false. That means D has to be the correct answer. But I can't choose D because it says which one is false. If I choose D, that's a true statement that they're all false. So
at that point, you just
right?
guess.
Exactly.
You're giving too much credit for whoever makes these tests.
Isn't that crazy?
And they're
that
outdated
sense,
too,
right?
on top of that.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Definitely outdated.
D is the correct answer. But if you choose D, it says which one is false. That's not correct. It's a true statement. So that's where I get screwed up with these, way overthinking it.
The best thing when it comes to, for example, those true or false, if you don't know for a fact and 100% that statement is true, it's false.
It's false. Yep.
Like that. If you ever have any level of hesitation or overthinking, just false, move on to the next. Yeah, because that's the exact reason why.
Yep.
As soon as I seen that question pop up, Gabe, as soon as I seen it was longer than 2 sentences, false.
So when I go retake, right? When I go retake my test, that'll be my strategy. Any true false questions, if they're longer than a sentence, I'm going false. I'm gonna come back to you and I'll follow up and let you know how that went.
And I'm not joking.
That's a good piece of information right there. I'd love to see the stats on it. It is interesting how the testing could be different, right? Because you can know some information but not be able to test very well at it, and that's perfectly exactly my problem. Languages, speaking languages, right? I took years of Spanish, French. I even tried learning Chinese. I can't do any of them. I am absolutely horrible taking languages. But put in a new coding language, I'll learn it in a month. Right? It's just the way people's brains work. They're just different. So yeah, I may know the information, be like, hey, this is really cool, but you put it on a test question like that, I'm like, I'm horrible at it. Straight up. I mean, I'm 56 now, and I'm horrible at taking tests. So it's not going to get any better. So we'll see what happens this next time.
We are still just consolidating in these markets, chopping around that 20,000 level in the Nasdaq, trading 19,995. The S&P tilt pretty much across the board, 50-50, a little bit of a long tilt in gold, 60%. S&P is trading 56-55. Dakota holding on to this trade. Is this something that you would take into MLCs? I know it's in a combine, but you trade your combines the same way you would trade your live account. Would you take this trade into MLC?
Yes, I do. It depends.
Depends on what?
It depends.
Elaborate.
Yes. Everything depends. That's the way the world works. Is if we do end up selling off and I take a couple contracts and I'm able to move my stop loss to a point in the money or closer to break even, yes, I will hold a position into MOC. As of right now, my answer is no, but we did just put in a nice pivot here on the 5-minute chart. As you guys could see, we had kind of this double top. What I was looking for this trade is we ran stops, we ran liquidity, and we had a 3-bar reversal. Everyone knows and loves that 3-bar reversal I keep talking about. I just find it so efficient for the way that I trade. But it's always location, right? You've seen me try and get caught up being preemptive, and then we finally got an actual confirmation, and that was a banger of a trade. So here we ran liquidity, ran stops, we rejected those 040s. I was talking the 040s was Liberation Day highs from April 2nd. We sold off, got the 3-bar reversal, got in it, and we now just made a new pivot, right? A lower high, and we did make a lower low. So now I am okay with moving my stop loss just above that lower high, and then I'm going to look for the same thing. If this market does break down, and then find another way to trail this, maybe look for. We only have 19 minutes left, so time is now going to be a factor in this trade. So if we do break down, I'll close off 2 contracts, maybe find a way to move my stop loss even closer to break even, and just let it run into MOC.
Nice. I did put on a couple micro Nasdaq longs, just looking for this to kind of trade this range until it breaks. I do think it is going to break, and it's not a position I would want to hold into MOCs, but just kind of giving this a little bit of space, looking to see whether or not the low of this range holds. There's Gabe with the risk disclosure. Take your own trades at your own risk, but just looking for this to pop back up above 20,000, or maybe the range breaks. It's going to break eventually. Carl Hungus
just
has
trying to
power
avoid. Oh, he does? Oh, I'm going to go check out Twitter.
Hashtag power hour. If you have any hashtag power hour memes, some trade setups, maybe you took some trades, you want to share it with the community, tag us on X, on Twitter, hashtag power hour. We'll try to collect as many of those as we can. Shout out to Hungus and Lost Trader, who is always providing some heat for hashtag power hour.
Oh, it's a decent one. It's not his best work, but it is a good one.
It's all right.
It's all right. I'll give it a 7 out of 10, but he's doing it for free, so
order filled.
I still appreciate it. We don't pay him to do these.
That's a good one. That's one for if he ever watches slow markets.
John Diamond says I should never fade Dakota. Yeah, you might be right.
Some people say they make billions.
Billions? Billions with a B, huh?
Billions with a B.
What percentage of traders do you think that say they fade you in the chat actually? What
Zero.
percent do you actually think take the trade?
0, man. 0. Traders talk crap, but they're not that naive. I don't know. That's saying it.
There might be like one.
What I say are 2 different things. I'm gonna keep it. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all right now. That's where I'm gonna stand.
There we go.
Like Dakota, you do this thing with, what is that, 3-bar reversal or something like that? What is that?
I thought you said you scored the best on the series 3.
Hey, I actually coded that, that's actually available in Ninja. I coded it for regular time-based candles and also range charts, and it's free to everybody. I did it one night live, you don't need any coding experience because Ninja Trader has, the strategy builder in there. We just put the information in. You can just go right through a strategy builder. If this is higher than that, if this is lower than that, if the close is above the open, and blah, blah, blah. And you count the candles back, and then you place the trade, and you put the stop where the high of the candle is, so on and so forth. It took about, I think it was like 55 minutes or something like that. And we just did it live, and it's all recorded. I'll dig up the link while you're talking about something else here, and I'll put it in the chat, and anybody can download it themselves. They can watch the video. They can actually download the zip file of the script and upload it to their Ninja Trader if they're using Ninja Trader. So I did it for time-based charts and also my coveted range bars because the coding is a little bit different. But you don't have to know any programming. It's all based in the strategy builder, and hoping to do that as well through TopStepX because I'm testing out API access and making some things on there too. So actually, Coach, oh my God, Coach Jag, woo!
we're
Got a
good.
range bar is setting up in there, so I get those puppies working.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good stuff,
so
man.
looking
I'm
forward to
excited
getting
for
that
it.
out. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That STX trading said the correct statement, and that's what I love seeing is I faded Top Step numerous times, but not because I wanted to fade. It's just your setup. Nothing wrong with that. That is the right thing. It's like I'm following my process. If my trade just happens to be, contradictory to someone else's, that's okay. You see it happen on Top Step too, right? Maybe this morning, Baron's short, I'm long, vice versa. Jay, it happens when we're on. It's just the reality of trading. It's process.
You're going to see different
Process.
things.
Yeah. And both can make money too. It's not like you can't have a contradicting position with maybe your trading buddy, and you might have a lengthier target than the other person, or a wider buffer in your stop. So there's so many variables to the the individualistic aspect of trading, to where you can have differentiating biases, and you could still see two outcomes that are either profitable, one or the other, both losses. Like, it's just so unique in that regard.
Like if I was a scalper and taking this trade off for 5 points right now, I'm opposite Dakota's trade, but it's not a fade, right? We're on completely different time frames, and I could be out before he's even thinking about managing his position at all, which is pretty
100%.
cool. It's what makes markets markets. We got about 3 minutes to MOCs. I will have the MOC numbers as soon as they come out.
I do have Power Hour ready, Jay.
Oh, let's get to it. Let's get to it before MOC. Hashtag
On it.
Power Hour. Did they deliver, Gabe?
Yeah, we got a few good ones. I'll save the Carl Hungus for last. But we got Spofford put the profits to good use, showing his new apartment. Shout out to Dylan.
Love that.
Love to see.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Love a little spiral staircase. I had a spiral staircase. All right. And then we got Cove Trader. Cove, the duo between him and Zero Day J. If you've not checked out one of their segments when they're both on together, they are a hoot and a holler, to say it kindly. But we got Cove Trader. $655 taking it to the bank. Love to see it. Good job, Cove. We got Hot Celeb. Just cleared my 5th $200 day with Top Step. About to request my first payout from them for $2,500. Then trade the accounts for about a month or so before I request another
order filled
or live. But we love to hear. Congrats to you, Hot Celeb. Way to go. We got Brent Baldwin. Another good day. Locked myself out of the Top Step account. $350 left for tomorrow if it presents itself to get to the profit objective for the 50K combine. So great job there, Brent. Able to walk away up about $1,000 on the day, and just about to cross that finish line for that combine. And then last but not least, we got the Carl Hungus meme of the day. It is that time. Just Top Step and chill for Power Hour. That is definitely
there you go
the case. We are just hanging out. Not a
The
whole lot
speed
happening.
of what he puts those together.
Insane. I don't know how he does it. I'm flat on that trade. Took the $100.
Nice,
like I said, I didn't want to hold it to MOCs. We got 40 seconds into MOC.
And I am closing out most of my position, and I'm going to leave just one contract on as a runner with my stop loss. Basically, couple points to. And that's it.
Good stuff. All right. 20 seconds into MOCs. Just be aware if you do have a position on. We could see some volatility here. So hopefully the position you have on is something that you want to hold through this, if so.
Well, we've been rallying up before these earning events, so we'll see.
Order filled. Order filled.
We've taken out both sides of this little short-term 1 minute range. So at this moment, there's not really like clear direction where we could go. Curious what these last 5 minutes take.
What was the over under again?
20,000.
20,000 a quarter.
Okay.
You said it.
I forgot, man.
It was your call.
Still not seeing. I'm refreshing over here. Still not seeing the numbers yet. As soon as I get them, I will let you all know.
Market's selling off.
Yeah, it is.
I was at
Jay, are
break
you in
even
financial juice? Are you in financial juice?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Order
right
filled.
there. S&P
Okay.
162 million, Nasdaq 407 million, Dow 27 million.
Buy side or sell side though?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's kind of hard to tell from that message.
Market selling off. Sell side.
Yeah, we were definitely
Probably
selling
sell
off.
side. Yeah.
All right, I think
Order filled.
I might go with
Okay, here
this
we
momentum.
go. Got it. S&P is positive
I'm short.
162 million. Nasdaq positive 408 million. Dow positive 227 million. Mag 7 positive 255 million. We got some trades placed here. Coach Robert, you got short. Gabe, you were saying thinking of short as well.
Robert, go ahead, brother. You got the house account keys. I'm just in a combine.
All right, I just said that. Yeah, I just shorted. I was a little late on it because I was looking for the mock, and then when I saw that it broke my candle, I have these zones up, and I'll tell you the prices. You don't have to enter them in, but it's short at 19,961. Target is kind of the zone down below that I drew up. I'll pull
Order
the calculator over
filled.
and show you how I got this here in a minute. But while this trade is on, and now enter the zone, and now we were up $257 right into the zone I was looking for.
Nice. There you
And
go.
you're on my screen,
Nice
and this is what I
trade.
did. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. We can probably add back into it, but I'm not going to. That's not my process. This is all I did. I made this little calculator thing, and yeah.
Order
and,
filled.
You know, it's a
Order
available and
filled.
stuff like that. So I basically
Order
enter in
filled.
the pivot. So the high up here, I enter the low pivot and then a high pivot, and I hit my little calculator. It goes to my algo, my own little brain dump on this
Order
thing, and then what I
filled.
did on this, I put the high pivot, which
Order
is
filled.
which is up there, 20,050. And then the low pivot, which was this down below, is 19,970. It calculated, it gave me a target area. I like to keep them within 5 to 15 points. It calculated out at 9.5 points. Drew it on the chart. I started right where the low pivot was, so I knew exactly which ones I was going to tackle. And there's a quick couple $100.
Coach Robert, take
Nice.
that with 50 locks next time. The
I was
Nasdaq
about
trading
to say.
19,966 right now. Dakota, you still in that short?
Yeah, man. This is happy I made the decision to just tighten up the stop and let one go as a runner, and sitting here up 60 points. Nasdaq
Nice trade.
went down to those 930s.
Order filled.
Nice trade. Nice trade. Tilt 54% short in the Nasdaq right now. S&P is trading 56.48 with a 52% short tilt. We do got about another 7 minutes before this session is closed. Every once in a while we see with 5 minutes to go another injection of liquidity. I'm refreshing the MOC numbers to see if they've changed at all, but they were all buy side. But we see the market kind of selling off from here. Not really numbers to kind of write home about. A lot of times when they're in the billions, then we see the markets move in those directions, but these are relatively small for Raquel Shaw says, what is MOC? Market on close orders. So the numbers that we gave out, for example, S&P positive, buy side 162 million. That's about how much business
Order
needs to
filled.
be transacted in the last 10 minutes, right? On before the close, right? Market on close. That's the number. So, sometimes if you hear an MOC buy side 2 billion, that's huge for the S&Ps. And a lot of times we'll see the markets move in that direction. Something you hear Peter Tuchman talk about a lot on this show. 5 minutes
Absolutely.
into the close, Nasdaq still selling here, 19,950s. Still in this 3-minute opening range, but nice short you got there, Dakota. I'm happy I took that long off when I did. I think I kind of top tick that exit. Yeah.
Good timing on that one for sure.
Couldn't fade my guy.
Right. I'm still holding this short. I'm just in 1ES right now. So I was just looking for a retest of that breakout, that structure we had previously. So essentially that failed demand that I had, retest of that we'll call resistance at this point for those that are thinking more support and resistance. I was just retesting the prior low of that range, and I'm just looking for an easy kind of low-hanging fruit. Looking for we're about to hit now, which is this lows of 56.39 and 3/4, which would be a nice demand zone sitting right beneath that little pivot.
We're out. Nice
little quick rebalance in price to a new low. Just ran those stops of anybody that was long from the 56.39, 56.35 area.
Sugar. I did get it
What
in
happened?
time. Sorry. I gotta be careful. I'm just gonna show you all. I was looking back, and seeing that we could possibly have another breakdown. My red indicator down here, which is DI minus, was pushing up. ADX was saying it's increasing. The buyers were slowing down. That's a strong push to the downside. So I looked back and said, what's my next pivot down? I'm here. I'm showing the pivots. In fact, let me just draw just real quick which one I have: up, down, and up. There we go. And now I'll move this back over. So I'm looking at the top pivot right here. It's a 20,029, which I entered as a high pivot in my little calculator. The bottom pivot down here, you can see I'm mousing over, is 19,942. I entered that in, hit calculate, and it gave me my target zone right down below, and it went right through it. That's another, man, that's a 12.5 point trade right there. Just wasn't fast enough.
Nasdaq trading 90s.
Good.
I'm out 120 points.
Boom.
So, Gabe, you out or are you still in?
Oh, no. I took profits at those lows of 56.39, but we are about to make new lows of day potentially if we break 56.
Yes, we are.
27.5.
Tinfoil hat. Did all those big orders get filled last night and during the day? No,
they might know something. They might know something about tomorrow. So we saw all those orders getting filled. We'll talk about this during At the Buzzer. I just realized Coach Paul is going to be out for At the Buzzer today, so I might run a solo show if anyone wants to jump on. But 19, where were those orders filled, Dakota? 928s is what I remember.
928
is where a lot of that.
I tell you what,
a lot
Jay,
of that.
Order filled.
I was a supplier for Apple,
and
I worked at, like, say, in China or Vietnam, one of their factories, and I knew something that someone didn't.
Yeah,
I would definitely be looking to
sell this market.
Send some orders through a hedge fund with a big position size.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Pure tinfoil hat right there.
Absolutely. What I want to call out is the patience that everybody kind of showed there. We talked about it, right? The market was not going to stay in that 20-point range in the Nasdaq, but we could have tried to figure out a bunch of trades. I took one long scalp. Everyone else got short. 4 different trades, all winners, and a bunch of patience by the traders here. And this is what trading should look like most of the time, right? If I'm looking at these charts and trying to figure out how to make a trade every second, I'm ultimately going to take some shitty trades. But these were all really good examples. You guys got in the flow. I got out of my trade before that flow, continued to the downside, and you profited from it, right? Gabe, you were in that trade for
lower zone
2 minutes.
Next lower zone hit too. I wish I knew it was coming on here. I would have loaded these all up.
That's called insider trading. I know. I know.
Order filled.
Hey, Jay, real quick, can we just mention the VIP form one more time? You guys got about 30 to 45 seconds before that form. I'm sorry, like a minute, let's just say, so the top of the hour, so that form comes down. If you have not hit the VIP form number 8 for the day yet, since it was posted in the afternoon, hit that real quick before it expires. Otherwise, we'll have another form coming in tomorrow.
Order filled.
New lows of day, by the way.
Order filled.
626.
Order filled.
Lows of day in
New
the
lows.
Oh.
Nasdaq trading 19,872. Stay tuned. I'm going to be on for At the Buzzer. We will cover Amazon, Apple earnings and what it means for these markets. Great show today, everybody. We still got about 40 seconds to go as these markets make new lows. S&P is trading 56.25. Wow. Gotta love these markets. Gotta love these markets. What's up?
Anybody learn a lesson not to fade?
Fade your life choices if you faded, Dakota.
New lows.
Fade at your own risk.
Order filled.
19,860.
Yeah. Breaking hard.
10 seconds to the close. Let's see where we close. Dakota, you're above below. The below
is gone.
For below, you won.
My above below
about
gone.
200 points, and that is the close. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Kind of a skeleton
Order
crew.
filled.
Production team and all of the Top Step TV personalities are out taking care of business. But thank you for joining. If you haven't done so already, hit the thumbs up button. Gabe, shout out to you for running a one-man show today. Coach Robert, thank you for joining. Dakota, I know you're going to be on for Slow Markets later tonight with Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Great stuff. Gabe, you want to take us out, or are we just going right to break from there?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll take it out from here. Thank you guys. Great power hour. Appreciate you having us, with us. All right, y'all. So it's the end of the day. As always, just a quick little recap. It's a great day.
Order
Obviously, the markets
filled.
were a little bit range bound until the end of the day here. But ultimately, we have some sessions to continue the day. So we're not quite over yet. If you do want to hang out with us, like Coach Jay said, we have At the Buzzer with him and Coach Paul coming up here on the channel at 3:15 Central. We do have Coach Dakota hosting Barron tonight for slow markets at 7:30 Central. And then moving into tomorrow's schedule. Tomorrow, it is Friday, NFP Friday. So come hang out with us. Get in here nice and early. We do have, of course, the London Open at 1:30 a.m. with Aaron Luce. Deanna does not have Euro Trade tomorrow because she does not do Fridays, but Aaron will be
Order
on
filled.
for the gold and the London Open. And we have opening call with Eddie. Eddie's actually out, so it's going to be Hogue, JD, and Coach Hoop. For
Order
call.
filled.
Fast markets, we'll have Mohammed, Coach Dakota as well joining us, and Coach Hoop on the later half of the fast market session. Then we're going to have Peter Tuckman to close out the week with Andre. We know how lively Tuckman gets when he comes in and gives us a quick recap of the week, but we'll close out with Tuckman for the morning. And then we actually have Almir hanging out with Andre and Dolby during the Rising Star segment of the 11 o'clock hour. Coach Vince and Hogue coming in for a little VIP update throughout Lunchbox Trading. And then we have the New England Patriots special teams coordinator, Jeremy Springer, coming in the afternoon at about 1 p.m. So stay tuned for that. Should be a fun time with him and Andre. And then we have Meat. Meat is back in the house. If you did not catch Meat's first segment with us, it was a great time. Him and Hogue kind of talked out some of their memories on the floor, in the experience they've had on different floors because they did not actually work on the same floor. But Meat will be coming back to hang out with Dolby and JD. And last but not least, we have Fatima and Jesse.
Order filled.
Hang out with us for the reversal challenge during Power Hour tomorrow. So should be a great time. But this is your time, as Eddie would say. Get some rest.
Order
get up,
filled.
stretch, get your brain a little reset, come back, and we'll see you for At the Buzzer.
Order filled.
Thank you again for hanging out with us. We're grateful to have you as always. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
Order filled. Order filled.
I've never felt so good in my life. I'm on an absolute roll, podiuming at every single competition during the year.
7-5 for the kid from Aspen. A tremendous showing.
And this is our 5th contest, and I'm feeling like I'm on cloud 9.
First thing with this
on ES and NQ. NQ is about to hit the 0.2 extension.
Say good morning to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie in the chat here with us. Pink shorts in the hurt locker. Good morning, Anne-Marie.
They are.
Order filled.
I was targeting at least 68, so I'll feel good if it doesn't get there, but it will.
Order filled.
In the Nasdaq. Pull that up. Someone take a look. Someone out there's got it. What is
Order filled?
Let me take a look at the NDX. It's hard to say in the futures because
roll
the premium. Yeah, the roll.
Yeah.
Order filled.
All-time high in the NDX is around 22,222. Ooh. It's the Lerner and Rowe, the 2222222.
Oh man. You know what that means?
Order filled.
Yeah.
Those cycles
might have a DUI.
Yeah, those are ambulance chasers here in Illinois. Maybe there are other states, but you definitely see the billboards on the highways.
They're based in Vegas, I think. So, like, I think they're all over.
That's okay. Oh wow, good for them.
No, I was not taking a nap.
There you are. Good morning, Hogue. How was your nap?
Although I have been known to do that. I'm actually the first person that ever fell asleep during a Top Step meeting.
That's true.
This was right at the beginning. I don't know if Eddie remembers this, but I think there were like five, 6 people in the company. We were at a meeting, and I was actually speaking, and I kind of dozed off in the middle of a sentence.
No, mid-sentence, Hogue. Oh no,
Mid-sentence even.
Oh, Hogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we all decided to take a nap at that point.
Even Hogue was bored with what he was saying. Hogue was so bored with what he was saying, he passed out on himself.
He put us all to sleep, so it was all right.
That's pretty
MP
good.
just ripped out laughing. Just laughed his ass off.
Oh, that's funny. Still pushing higher here.
I've definitely fallen asleep at job meetings before. On Teams calls where you don't have to have your camera on or anything, sometimes I would fall asleep, and I'd like wake up out of my sleep when I hear my name, and I'm like, I gotta say something.
Yeah,
I've slept through a whole entire session at work. What?
NQ, the 0.2 extension, it looks like it's running for that 0.4.
You say 0.4, Baron. What are you referring to? 0.4 or 0.2? What does that mean?
So it's extensions off the initial balance. I can show my edge full. Let me share this tab. So this is what I would look at, right? So this is for ES. Once the initial high breaks, this is your percent likelihood that you hit extensions. So it's not like right away. It's just like at some point in the day, right? If you look at NQ, it's not as clean, but it's there. That's kind of why I also want to switch to ES, because the numbers are nicer on the extensions.
There you go. It's a lot. You can trust
It would be nice if it would take that range extension in a straight line.
Oh man, Hogue.
I mean, the other day, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, we broke the initial balance high. ES didn't hit its 0.2 extension. It retraced down to a fib level. And then I took calls. I took options calls there, and then it pumped up past the extension. So it's like when it doesn't hit that extension right away, you can wait for the retrace, because you still have a 95% likelihood that it hits that.
All right.
Yep. 20,046.
Visual target in the Nasdaq up here at 20,064. It's a naked point of control.
064.
It's also the 0.4 extension. It's the 0.4. It's the 0.4 extension, Hogue.
Sweet. All right. So what do you do with that? As target, or would you take a short up there, or you target it, or it's just what do you do with that? Hogue says visual target. You say 0.4 extension. What can I do with that information?
So I would use that as a upper end target. So I would scale at the 0.2 extension, and then if it runs up to that 0.4, scale again, and then bring your stop up to the 0.2. See if it runs to the 0.7 or something, because it will do that sometimes. You can take reversal trades off the extensions as well, because it's if you're up at the 0.7, it's less likely for it to that there's a very small percent chance it hits that one extension. So you would take it short and just put your stop at the one extension.
Thank you.
330 contracts offered at 56.70, which is one tick above the high of the day right now.
Yep. You can see those 500 lots in the Nasdaq ladder as well.
Bold move.
It is.
Yeah, we might be getting a pullback here in the Nasdaq. I could see this becoming a 3-bar reversal in the 5-minute. Maybe we ran stops at overnight highs, and then we head back to 20,000.
And Marie's talking about a quick strike scalp short. That was hard to say. Potentially at 56.71.
Market is closed,
but should see buying pressure coming back in at 56.60 to 56.56.
Well, we failed to hold and stay above the overnight highs.
Yeah.
So far. 3-bar reversal will be tempting if we close here and we break back down below 0.16.
S&P is still above the overnight highs. It just kissed my random channel line I have. That's a long-term thing.
Crude creeping, grinding higher. 59.04. Prices are wild.
I like the short there. I'm going to do one short on 018. Stop loss 050.
One Nasdaq. Short from 20,000, 018. 018. Dakota, you were talking
Yes,
it
sir.
out. What? Why the short? 3-bar reversal.
Yeah, so we
What do
ran
you-
the overnight highs,
Mhm.
and you can imagine stops at that point. We rejected it. We failed to hold above so far, right? We just closed that last 5 minute and broke below those 116s. Now this is being preemptive, and I'm fine with that. And yeah, I'm looking for just a move back down towards, 20,000, maybe 19,990s. But could easily be wrong if we continue to break. It's not confirmed until this next 5 minute candle closes below 016.
Oh shit!
But we'll see.
Out of belief, I took that trade with you, Dakota, but I think I'm gonna be out of it pretty quick.
I'll short ES.
Yeah.
ES looks like it's still. It looks like it's still holding up, right? You get one red 5 minute. We'll see if this next one prints green or red, but I think it still holds up.
Okay, new item added to financial juice calendar. I'm seeing President Trump has an intelligence briefing at 11 a.m. Central. They're just literally just putting out his entire schedule on financial juice now, just hour by hour.
They don't know what's going to happen. They just see anything with Trump, like they're worried about it.
I've never seen this, just like hour by hour, the president's schedule.
Yeah, was there ever anything with Biden on like financial?
No, Biden
ever?
No,
it would be like State of the Union address or something like that. It would be like once.
Correct. It was Day of Prayer. What's this one? At top of the hour here. The National Day of Prayer event.
Yeah, National Day of Prayer.
This is what a time.
Pray for peace.
To be alive. Pray for peace, indeed. 66. Dakota short from 18. Only 600 likes. And we got number 30, number 5 on the big board in the house, man. Pro ball traders lighting up their DLLs.
Daily loss
The daily loss limit is $1,500, man. And Dakota's is 3,000. Like that's pro ball trading right there.
I think the other thing with switching to ES is since the risk is tighter, right? You can have a 5 to 10 point stop on ES, and it's reasonable. NQ, sometimes you need like a 30, 40 point stop. Trading with 1 mini on ES, it's $250 to $500 a risk.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right here. So we'll take another paper cut.
Well, this is not looking good.
It's looking good for my long. It's looking good for my long. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Trying to short this.
Are you long? Are you long this, Baron?
Yeah, I've been long. I'm up 15 points.
Way to go, Baron.
Really?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. You're long in ES, though.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm off Nasdaq. Nasdaq is old news. Nasdaq is old news.
We'll see.
Old news.
Nasdaq's still leaving like her hoodies at your house and stuff. Oh, I forgot the hoodie. I don't need to go pick it back up. Toothbrush is still there, but
I'll be the last man standing in the Nasdaq. Nobody else wants it. I'll take it.
I would still trade Nasdaq in the overnight, but in the in the mornings on New York session, I think I'm a ES trader now.
Look at this.
Right. I'm not going to take another short until at least 56.90. Means probably get long.
Hold this thing, 19,000 or 20,041.
Stop loss is a better
670. There was a 300 lot up there. Did it get filled? I reckon it probably did. Anything on the Nasdaq ladder? We did see those big orders. Well, 500 lots to the upside. 19,910. That got filled. Then that 500 times on the offer. Then 19,959. That filled on the offer 500 times as well. Gold ticking lower a little bit. 32.34 last trade there. They're going to pump this thing.
Yeah, on ES we had 630 lots transacted at 5669. I'd like to see it push up above there. Because if you have buying at the highs, if you have that much buying at the highs and market continues to not run up, it can indicate short.
Run into some sneaky sellers. You see those on your you see those on Bookmap, Aaron?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, is Bookmap.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean by sneaky sellers? How would I identify sneaky sellers on the ladder?
You get up near the highs and you see a whole bunch of buying coming in, but price doesn't go in that direction. It's kind of like a delta divergence. You know, you get all these buys up against resting selling, you know, just offers being put in, basically icebergs. And it doesn't keep going. There's your sneaky sellers.
Sneaky.
Or you see it's in the reverse sense of that. You see heavy sell pressure, market doesn't continue to move down. It's massive buying. It's just all those buyers are just absorbing the sell orders.
Yep.
And then that you can use that as levels to get long off of.
Yep. Don't mess with size.
Same kind of theory, Andre, when we get a delta divergence at the end of the day, you know, you got increasingly negative delta at higher and higher prices. All those shorts get squeezed.
Oh, Hogue, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we had a sweet. Yeah, man, it's been a minute. But we ask every day during Power Hour, every day, what's Delta? What's Delta? What's Delta? And maybe the trade might happen 3 times, 4 times a year. But when it happens, it's a big winner. Short squeeze.
Did anyone in chat make money on that last 10 minutes yesterday?
That face ripping rally.
Can we talk about that?
I did in a practice account. I was in on that rally. My live was locked out, though, unfortunately.
Can we talk about Jack? How much was the rally in the Nasdaq, give or take a couple hundred points?
Well, like I have the ES up, but it's the same 400. Yeah, and then it was you can see it right here, 54 to
475. We closed at 481, so almost 400 points.
In how long? In just an hour or even shorter?
In that last, so that rally started at 2:35 p.m. at close at 3:55 p.m. Central. We were up, but the majority of the rally happened. It was probably an hour. Just in an hour, it ran up like 400 points.
And it kept going after hours too. During earnings, the earnings came out positive, and it just kept going.
It sure as hell did. Look at
Yeah. Andre, I just looked before the pop happened yesterday. It looks like there were some iceberg buy orders near the kind of the afternoon. Looks like it was down around 55.36, 55.38, 55.40s. It looked like we got some pretty deep negative delta there. We ended the day up 6,100 in delta.
Oh, we missed it. Was that the short squeeze we were just talking about? Damn it, Hope.
Yeah, that's what I said yesterday.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I just looked at it, and it looks like there was a divergence there.
Oh,
I'm short again here in the Nasdaq. 038.
038 sounds good.
Yes, sir.
70% long ES tilt, 64 in the NQ.
Gold seen a little selling. 32.28. About $5 in this 5-minute candle. Crude pulled back about 50 cents off the recent highs. Last trade 58.54. Top of the hour in 5 minutes. Aaron, you still long? Are you taking this thing too?
Yeah, still long. I wouldn't try to short this. It's just too much momentum to the upside.
Yeah, we tried to break them. I'm getting out.
We held Asia lows as well. We just hit that point.
Yeah, we just held those 30s.
There we go.
It's it's
No
barely even
selling.
pulled back to the IB high, Baron. I wouldn't sell it either.
Got the drift going. All right, 56.72 half. New highs ES. New highs Nasdaq 20,058 just printed. Dow moving up and to the right as well. 41,147.
Gold just barcoding.
Yes, it is. We've seen $100 swings in gold the other day. $200 swings.
It's been so volatile. Even during slow markets, we're seeing huge moves in gold.
Mm-hmm. April was an all-timer. Jack, what was the tilt when you called it out? It was 70% long? I guess we're seeing it right now.
Yep, 70% long Nasdaq. It was a little bit less than that. 72% long ES right now.
Yes, it is. Interesting. We'll see what happens here. 56.61 average price of that ES. About 10 points in the money there.
That's basically all I have now. That's all I have on this NASDAQ. Now we're breaking through to where there's nothing left for the short side. That was my last one. That was the high of Liberation Day. That was the high of that April 2nd candle. Was right there at those 040s. And so I was okay taking shorts up until then. But we've broken through that. We're broken through, and that's it for me. And in terms of any trades, if we break and continue, I mean, next level I'm going to be looking at is going to be 140s, maybe 180s. But that's the reason why I was shorting up into this zone, because of that. April 2nd, the high was 040s right there. And it looked like we tried, and then it looks like we was going to fail. But no, that was a breakthrough right there.
Dakota, do you ever feel like you bring in your buys from the overnight into New York session? Sometimes, because I've had that happen. Where like I bias one way, trying to trade the overnight, morning, and then I come into New York.
Not really. I was looking for those 880s to come into play. It did come into play, and we bounced off of it. And then I was looking for these 040s to come up to that Liberation Day, that April 2nd candle. And honestly, I'm surprised we didn't have any pullback from that. Like, we got a little bit of hesitation, but this market is just breaking through that. There's no resistance. Maybe you can make an argument that we consolidated there for a minute. Maybe you make the argument that that was the resistance in the pullback from this morning. We got up to these 30s, and then we pulled back, over 100 points. But no hesitation breaking through any of that resistance. Like, look at this thing go now.
Look at this, more buying coming in. New highs 20,070 in the Nasdaq. New highs ES 56.75. Dow make new highs as well. Like Baron said the Hogue as well. Too strong.
And a target above 56.97, which is a naked point of control in the S&Ps.
56.97. What was the first target that we hit, Hogue?
Nasdaq. 20,664.
Yes. Oh, yep, there it is right there. Check. Yep. 56.97. And
690 would be the top of the April 2nd candle in the SPX.
Well, it's official. Another 2% day.
Yeah.
How about it?
We had, 16 of those last year? And
no, that was a down 2%.
This year is crazy.
Jack, what's that
this
stat?
Year, there's been more 2% days than 1% days in either direction.
Intraday, too. Like yesterday.
Very strong right now.
This just coming over the wire here. Trump is hosting the National Day of Prayer right now, but this over the wire here. Trump plans to oust White House and National Security Advisor Waltz.
Yeah.
Saying
Freedom
that
signal.
Witkoff may replace Waltz.
Baron, what is your entry level?
I got in at 56.55. My stop is at 56.68. I just took one off. Holding one for that 0.7 extension, which has a 52% chance of hitting. So
I like those odds.
once you get past the 0.5, your odds drop off significantly. The 0.2 is 96% chance. 0.3,